Welcome to another episode of Between Us. We're on episode 5.
Halfway to 10.
Halfway to 10. Getting up there. What did we do this week?
Wow, you opened. Look at you. Professional podcaster.
Yep.
Previous week, I went golfing.
Yes. I went to Bunko. We filmed our other podcast, Jaiden's Basement.
Yes, if you haven't seen that, go watch it.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We had a lot of camera issues, though.
Why are you looking at me like that's my fault?
So we have a camera. We've had it for a long time, and Jaiden and Taylor kept telling Jaiden, this camera's not going to work. And Jaiden's like, what do you mean? This is the greatest camera there ever was.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So then we set it up in the basement in the middle of our podcast. It just starts flashing the battery, and there's no way to plug it in. And it also turns off after 30 minutes of filming.
I don't know. When did we buy that camera?
I don't know. I didn't even know it was ours.
What does that even mean?
I thought it was Brady's.
No, we bought that for our business.
Oh.
And then Taylor comes in, our videographer, and poo-poos on it.
Well, he was right.
Yeah, he is actually right. I'll finally admit it. But because of every one of you who watches the show,
we can buy a new camera.
We can upgrade. Have a nice little upgrade on the camera. So, yeah, that happened. Like I said, I went golfing, and I don't understand the appeal to golf, which I'm even scared to say because I know
there's a lot of golfers out there.
There's a lot of people that are super passionate about this very boring sport that I don't like doing. And it worries me to even say that, but yeah, like I do not get the appeal of going for 4 hours and playing 18 holes, and it's not my thing.
It's not your thing. That's okay.
Yeah. Aren't you so lucky?
So lucky. I keep seeing all these videos on TikTok of these husbands leaving all day to go golf, and their wives are back at home. Like, where the heck are they? So I'm fine with it. And
I just wonder what causes them to, like, those that are way into golf, is there like a moment that
maybe your first hole in one, and all of a sudden you're like,
hole in one must be it. That's the
then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I love golf.
Yeah, because my brother Brady never golfed ever, and then within like a couple of months, he's at the golf store. He's buying new clubs. He's got his bag. And I kept laughing when we were golfing because, like, he's over there cleaning his clubs before and, like, digging out the dirt out of them. And he pulls out this tee and it's got, like, a little stopper on it. I'm like, dude, how have you gone from not golfing at all to being absolutely obsessed? And he used to send me funny reels. And now all he sends me are golf reels.
He's trying to get you to get into golf.
I know. What else happened this week?
I lost in Pick'em.
Oh, yeah. Talk about that.
So I do this Pick'em league every week for football. Jaiden doesn't do it.
Nope.
So all I pay is $10, but the payout if you win is like over $100. And you just have to pick the winners of every game of the week. So I picked all my games.
Yes.
I was doing very well. The only game I had lost on Sunday, 2 games, was the Broncos, which I'm from Denver, so I thought maybe I'd give them a chance, and they lost 70-20.
You just picking them. I don't know if you deserve to win.
How dare you? You used to love the Broncos.
Used to.
He had those big fat head stickers on his wall of Champ Bailey and a big Broncos helmet. And now look at him. Doesn't even care.
Nope.
So anyway, then the Raiders lost that night. And someone else lost. Who was it? I don't remember.
Rams.
The Rams. Oh, yeah. So then I was winning. I was in first place. Monday night comes, there's 2 games. I only had to win 1 game to win the whole thing. Both my teams lost. So then I wound up tying with 2 other people, so then it went to the points. And I guessed too high. Needless to say, I got 3rd place. I still got my money back, but I could have had I was that close to winning over $100, and I was so mad.
Yeah, I tried telling you don't pick the Bucks.
Oh yeah, the Bucks. I love the Bucks because of Tom Brady. So I picked them.
He's not even there.
I know, but now I have to cheer for him because I cheered for him for the last however long he was on their team. But the Patriots won.
Yes.
And I pick them every week, so I guess I'm too loyal. But I apparently have a bunch of teams now that I'm loyal to. Because the reason I picked the Raiders was because, like last year or 2 years ago, you're like, the Raiders are my team now. So then I was like,
you just have to pick
so I'm like,
them.
oh, well, Jane likes the Raiders. I'm going to pick the Raiders.
I'm shocked you even got that close to winning then. If
So
that's
all
how
the
you
teams
pick
that
them.
all the teams that I picked based on my emotions rather than just picking them because I think they're good lost. So I learned my lesson.
Now you know.
Yeah.
So this week, pick just only off.
Yeah, I'm never picking the
logic.
Broncos again.
Okay. And it's fall weather almost. Like 70s or 80s. So
Yeah, it's been nice actually. I set up for fall a couple weeks ago.
yes, I love
Fall decorations.
fall weather.
I like to set up early because it's a lot of work to decorate your house, and I'm not gonna just leave it up for 1 month and then switch it. So I
Yeah.
decorate. I don't. You can judge me, but I decorate for Christmas November 1st because it takes so long to set up the tree, to set up all the other decorations for only to have it up from Thanksgiving for 1 month.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
like that you do that.
right?
Though.
And,
I
but
like
then,
having it
but
up
then by
longer.
Christmas, I'm over the decorations, so they're down by December 26th.
Okay, shall we jump into it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Last week was it was a different podcast, I would say. We got,
Yeah, a
we
lot more
talked about
serious.
Royce and our son and our experience of losing him, and also tying that into like our relationship with God. So I
Right.
thought it was really interesting. So if you haven't watched that one, it's a really good one. I definitely recommend watching it. Right off the top, if you haven't already, as always, we would like to say subscribe to the channel. So it really just helps us. Like we were saying, it allows us to get better cameras and allows us to, just have a better production so that the experience for you is even better. So, okay, so we're going to jump into Know It All.
Oh yes.
Our segment where we do trivia, rankings, but this week, Lindsie is going to do a quiz for me.
Yes. Okay, so for today's Know It All, I'm quizzing Jaiden. We're gonna find out which Disney princess he is. Okay.
Ooh.
So this is a BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Always.
Okay, so you just have to answer these questions, and they're multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Yes.
Okay.
How would your friends describe you? Funny, clever, brave, smart, kind, or pretty?
Pretty. No, I'm just kidding. Funny.
Yes, I would say. What's most important to you? Loyalty, patience, humor, money, kindness, or looks?
Kindness.
Okay. Where would you prefer to live? In a castle, a cottage,
Ooh.
the forest, under the sea, somewhere modern, or in a huge library?
Somewhere modern, I would say.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm built for
No.
that cottage life.
No, you're not. What's your favorite Disney quote? Okay. You gotta listen to these quotes.
Yeah, I'll listen.
Okay, venture outside your comfort zone. The rewards are worth it.
Ooh, that's a good one. Does it say where these are from?
Yeah, it's from Tangled.
Oh.
The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all, which is Mulan. Life's not a spectator sport. If watching is all you're gonna do, then you're gonna watch your life go by without you, which is The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Wow, those are all good.
Just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. Cinderella.
Wow. Disney with these one-liners.
Should I get a tattoo?
Oh my god.
Of everyone? Okay. Every minute spent in your company becomes the new best moment of my life. Bolt.
Oh, that's sweet.
Which one do you like?
I like the Hunchback one.
Okay. If you had a magic mirror, what would you ask it? Where's the best lighting in the palace? What's the next big invention going to be?
Invention?
Yeah.
Okay.
When will
interesting.
you get married?
Well, okay.
How do you help one of your loved ones?
Okay.
Or you wouldn't because it doesn't seem safe.
Oh. Why is it not safe?
Well, I don't know. The evil queen used the mirror to ask who the fairest of them all was, and then...
What did it do to her?
Well, it told her it was Snow White, and then she died.
Snow White died?
No, the queen.
Oh. Next big invention would be kind of good.
Okay. Which animal would you want as a pet? A toad, a
No.
cat,
No.
a chicken, a dragon, a dog, or a cricket?
A dragon.
It's a man's answer.
Oh my gosh. These are my answers.
What is your favorite color? Red, yellow, blue, or green?
Blue. Is that a man's answer?
Yeah, that's good. Although that is my favorite color too, so. Where would you prefer to go on a first date? A food stall, whatever that is.
Okay.
A picnic in the forest, the beach, the zoo, a restaurant. Or why would I go on a date?
Restaurant, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see your crush. What do you do?
Okay, let me picture this. Okay.
Wait for them to come to me like you want to be courted. Nothing. I
It
feel
says that?
Yeah, it says I like to be courted. Nothing. I feel too awkward. Run the other way. Speak to them confidently, or there's nobody I have a crush on.
Okay, so I go to Target and
You don't know me.
I don't know you're there. No, we're married.
Oh, okay.
I go to Target, we're married, and I see you. Also at Target, I didn't know you were there.
Yes. What
What
do
do
you
I do? Read them to me one more time.
Wait for them to come to you.
Yes.
Nothing. You feel too awkward.
Maybe that. Just kidding.
Run the other way. Speak to them confidently, or there's nobody I have a crush on.
Speak to them confidently.
What's your idea of happily ever after?
Okay.
A loving family, a big with 10 G's castle, money, honey,
Money, honey.
hanging out with my friends, marriage, spending time with my family. I don't think much about the future.
Spending time with my family.
And last but not least, what's your first name?
My first name?
Yeah,
Okay.
done. Let's see.
Moment of truth.
Thinking. You got 11 seconds. And then you find out. Who's it
does
going to
a
be?
countdown.
6, 5,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
1.
Reveal your results. The Disney princess that Jaiden is most like is Ariel. From the little...
What from my answers came Ariel?
Well, let me read. From The Little Mermaid, they both possess a witty and funny personality, care deeply about kindness, and would prefer to live in a modern setting. That's true. She did leave the ocean to live with Prince Eric.
And I left the ocean to be here.
Yes. Additionally, both Jaiden and Ariel share a love for the color blue
Oh my gosh. They don't know that.
and appreciate spending time with their family. Jaiden is also 30%. Oh, wait a minute. Jaiden is 30% Belle, 25% Rapunzel, 20% Cinderella, and 25% Mulan.
I bet if I did cottage, it would have been Belle, right?
No, the library.
Oh, library. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Were you hoping for Belle?
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, good job, Ariel.
Okay, who do you think I am? Most like.
Well, obviously it's Ariel.
You agree?
Yes, I liked their reasoning.
Oh my gosh. No, there's better ones.
I would say I like Belle for you mainly because you like the live action Beauty and the Beast,
Mm.
and she likes to learn, and you love to learn new things.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know Ariel.
We gotta watch it now. It's gonna be
Yeah.
your new favorite movie.
Okay. Awesome. We did it.
Yep,
Another know-it-all.
that's kind of fun. I want to
Yeah.
do it now. I'll do it after.
Yeah, you'll have to do it. And then we'll post it to our Instagram, what you got. Okay. All right. Should we jump into Between Us submissions?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So As a reminder, you can go to the link in this video or in our bio, and you can submit your own responses, and we'll talk about them. So each week we take these, we discuss them, give our advice or just our thoughts on them. So let's dive right in. Okay, you ready for the first one?
Ready.
All right. As a loyal follower, thank you. I'm curious, what's the most challenging part of podcasting together? Any behind the scene moments you can share?
Well, we've only done 5 podcasts so far.
6 counting Jaiden's basement.
Well, this is our 5th one
yeah.
of this. So, I mean,
Yep.
most difficult part.
Just more challenging part, of podcasting together. Honestly, I think it'd be a stretch to say podcasting is like hard.
Yeah, it's just hanging out and having a conversation. Yeah. It's kind of fun, although sometimes, like that one time, Jaiden made us stop because he didn't like the way I said the dogs. Remember, one of my favorite things, and I said the dogs, and he wanted me to elaborate. So he said, "Cut."
Where is this coming from? Have you been holding that grudge?
I'm just saying sometimes
Well, clearly it had a big impact on you.
Well, it's not hard, but that was one of the things that I felt like you could have just kept going.
You said dogs?
Yes. And that's it.
Okay. That's a huge challenge, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. It's not hard.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is just getting used to being on camera.
Yeah.
You know, it's not natural to just sit here and just talk to a camera, right? But yeah, that's funny you bring that up.
I remembered.
Clearly, sorry. Well, during that episode, I just felt like we were like boring. I don't know how else to put it, but we were just like, just talking like.
Yes, that's true.
It was just very like, yeah, it was boring.
That's true.
And then we were going through the 3 things we can't live without, and it was just like dog, this. So I was like, all right, we're cutting.
We started
all over. We're like, let's bring the energy back into it. And it turned out great.
Better. Yeah.
So I think it was a good thing that we stopped.
That's fine. Yes, you're right.
All right. That's great. Do you want to read the next one? Okay.
As a parent myself, I've appreciated your insights. Can you share an anecdote about a parenting challenge you navigated together? A parenting challenge. Let's see.
That we navigated together. I mean,
I guess what I'm thinking about right now is because it's happening right now is potty training.
Yeah. That was.
And we're still going through it because Fletcher, I've talked to multiple people and they said their child has done the same thing, but he's fine going pee on the toilet, but for some reason he is scared to go number 2. Poop. Am I allowed to say poop on a podcast?
Yes.
He's afraid to go poop on the toilet, so he'll go in our basement and poop in his underwear.
Every
day. So that's kind of a challenge we've been trying to work through.
Yeah. And if you guys have any suggestions,
we'll take them. So I told him he's not allowed to go in the basement until he poops on the toilet because that's usually when he poops, but then he just won't go at all, and then he will go the next day earlier.
Yeah.
In his underwear. So I don't know how to navigate that, but I guess we've had to exercise a lot of patience. Yep. Still working on it.
Yup. Yeah, I think, as far as parenting, like, it's so interesting. And I was thinking about it the other day. So I was giving Fletcher a bath, and, like, just being there with him literally makes me emotional. Like, you love him so much, it hurts. Mm-hmm. Like, it literally, like, hurts my soul because how much I love this kid. And you go from that of, like, I'm just looking at him like, gosh, I love this kid so much. And then within the next hour, he's pooped in his underwear.
He's
And
hit you with his lightsaber. He's screaming all over.
and he was pulling his
Yeah.
underwear down, and the poop fell out, and
Oh,
then he
yeah.
just stomped on top of it.
You're
I'm
like,
this is like the perfect picture of what parenting is. Like, you love them so much, and then there's these moments where you're like, oh my goodness.
You're like, what did I get myself into?
So, yeah, as a parent, it's just, I think you go through different
yeah, definitely
times
takes
and
a lot of patience for sure.
yeah. But, I think just taking in those moments, we
Yeah.
talked about that last podcast. So, like, when you really take in the good moments, it makes the bad ones not so
Yeah.
bad,
Mhm.
right? So, cool. That was an awesome one. I love that. Okay, next submission. Hey, Jaiden and Lindsie, I'm at a major career crossroads. I've been offered a high-paying job in a city I've never lived in before, but it would mean leaving my close-knit family and friends. I know you faced life-changing decisions before. Any advice on how to navigate this?
Wow. Well, I guess that's an interesting question because we both live. So, for instance, we live in Utah, and Jaiden's whole family lives in Utah.
Yep.
But I grew up in Colorado, and the only sibling I have here right now with me is my twin sister, and everyone else in my family lives in different states.
Yeah.
Like I have some in Arizona, one in Washington, one in Idaho. So to me, I feel like, I mean, I wouldn't really bat an eye at something like that, but you might have a different perspective.
Yeah, I think it would be hard for me just because I haven't done it yet. Like, my mom still lives kind of far, but, like, I have my brother that lives close, and, like, we see my family often. And, like, we do have the benefit of, like, Lindsay's parents coming into town
A lot, yeah.
a lot, which is super nice. And, but yeah, I think it's just whatever feels right to you. Like, if you're going to be there at a high earning job but be miserable because you're not around your family, I would say don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you can still find a balance where you stay connected with your family and you're happy with that, then yeah, go chase that dream.
Yeah, and friends I feel like is hard too because I feel like, especially these
Yeah.
days, it's a little bit harder to find friends. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like it could also open up opportunities to meet new people and make new friendships, but while still staying connected to your friends back home.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's good to get away from your family and, like, experience
Yeah.
these new things and these new adventures.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's up to you, but just, I think, are you going to be able to be away from your family for that long and still be happy and
Yep.
find a balance? Okay, awesome.
Okay, let's see. I've been with my partner for 5 years. Lately, we've been in a rut, doing the same things and not really growing together. How have you kept things fresh and exciting in your relationship? Well, I don't know, it's hard to, like, think back, you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Like
to
to think-
remember
to remember-
how we got here?
Yeah, and just to think, like, I don't know, maybe to me, I don't know how you feel, but I don't feel like we've been in a rut. Maybe, I don't know. But how
In
did
the past, you're talking?
yeah, just in our relationship. So I'm just wondering, how did we not get into a rut, you know?
I don't know. I think... let me think. I don't know.
I feel like our life is just constantly, I mean, we get in, like, these modes where our life is the same for a while, and then all of a sudden it changes, so then it kind of, like, keeps us on our toes a little bit, you know, and so I don't know, I feel like maybe just because our life is kind of just changing constantly, that we just kind of are growing with it and moving with it and just
Yeah.
going together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of times couples get into a rut because the routine that they get into almost kills the relationship, where they, you know, they get into a rut just because they're doing the same thing every day. And I think what's scary is a lot of people don't even realize that they're in a rut, and that slowly their relationship isn't growing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, our marriage has been crazy. Like, we've been married
almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years, and I feel like we've experienced a lifetime of things already. And like, we do these fun things such as doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those things is kind of what keeps us in a good space with each other, because it does bring something new. It brings in a new dynamic between us.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that's what you need to do, is just
maybe do something uncomfortable together so you guys can kind of grow together by going through it together.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. I think that's great. Okay. Last one, and thank you everyone who has submitted. These have been awesome. So, last submission, did you both leave the church together?
That's a good question. The answer is no. I left the church first. And then Jaiden, Jaiden's still kind of up in the air, I feel like. I never know what he's thinking about the church.
You don't know what I'm thinking?
Like, he doesn't go to church, and he's like fine with me and how I am. And he has like similar opinions, but he also has differing opinions to me regarding the church. And so we grew up very differently.
Yeah.
So Jaiden grew up very, like, I would say more relaxed with the rules.
Yeah, totally relaxed.
And I grew up, which in my mind, I am a rule follower.
But so am I.
To an extent.
What do you mean?
Did you follow the rules in school? You did school almost every day.
I'd have to go to school to follow
That's what I'm saying. That's a rule that you didn't follow.
Okay.
But you also weren't really given rules to follow either.
Okay.
But so if I'm given a rule, whether it's my parents, whether it's a teacher, or anyone, I am going to follow it. Otherwise, I will feel terrible.
Okay.
So I had rules growing up, like most kids do, I feel like, and I took them very seriously. And so then when me and Jaiden got married, and he wasn't really following the rules of the church as closely as I was.
What do you mean?
Like going to church. Like, I never missed church on Sunday. When we went on vacation, we still went to church.
It was just sometimes we'd go, and then I'd get a little hungry. And so we'd leave a little early.
And to me, I could not even, like, that's not a thing, because especially with the way the church teaches, like, you have to follow these rules to make it, to live with God.
But that's never how I viewed it. I viewed it was like, as long as I'm trying. And
but to me, in my mind, because on Sunday, just like, I don't want to go. To me, that's not trying.
I was just...
Well,
here's how I just approach life: is that I want to do certain things at times, and then I don't want to do it, because sometimes I'm like, "Hoorah, let's go," and the other time I'm like, "I don't feel like doing that." So, yeah,
right. So we just grew up differently. We just have different outlooks on, like, how rules I should be followed, I guess. And so to Jaiden, I feel like he was just like, it's whatever. If you don't want to go to church, then don't go to church, Or if it's like, if you want to go, like, eat at a restaurant on Sunday, go right ahead. Yeah. But to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, we're going to get punished for this. Like, I'm not going to make it into heaven. I'm thinking very, like, seriously about these rules that we're not following.
Okay.
And so...
and what's crazy is what you said at the beginning.
What?
That you were the first one.
And I was the first one. But I think that's wise, because I was trying so hard to follow all the rules, and it was hard, and it was causing me stress and causing me to, like, really focus on the wrong things, I felt like. So I felt like I just had to for my well-being.
Yeah.
But Jaiden was just like, still living the same life he was already living, and he was totally fine with it. So he didn't really necessarily need to leave the church because he was fine with the way he was living it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. You say you don't know what I'm thinking. Well, here's your chance to ask me.
What were you thinking?
No, ask me a deeper question. Like, have you wondered?
Well, I feel like, so I have tried to explain to you my reasonings, but then we kind of get into like a discussion, kind of an argument.
Discussion, kind of an argument, okay?
About So I know the things you're thinking,
You do?
but because I've tried to talk to you about them, but then it does turn into an argument. So then I'm like, all right, well, he'll just do his thing and I'll do mine. But I would like to know what your thoughts on the church are.
What specifically?
About the teachings. Like, do you believe them? Like, do you believe that the church is how you find true happiness? Like, is it how we are with our families forever? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, are you sad we're not part of the church anymore? Like, do you feel like our
Why did I put
eternal
myself in this spot?
our eternal salvation is at
God.
risk right now?
Here's my hang up.
Okay.
Is I only had good experiences within the church.
Right.
Like, I feel like as a teenager, it really did shape me, and it allowed me to find friends that now are lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Right. And not saying you can't outside of it, but that was just my experience. And going to boys camp and, like, you know, participating in speaking in front of the congregation as a teenager really set me up, I feel like, to be able to lead a company and hold meetings. And it just teaches you a lot of those, like, things that you can carry into your actual life. And then just going on a mission was probably one of the biggest growth years, I would say, of my life. In those 2 years that I went and served my mission, I grew astronomically as an individual.
Right.
And from that experience, I learned how to talk to strangers really well, and I learned how to, like, have a routine, and it just taught me a lot. So that's my biggest hang up, is I had such a good experience in the church that mainly I just feel kind of sad for Fletcher. Not saying you won't have those same experiences, but, you know, they are way accessible in the church to do those things, to lead a meeting and to speak and to, like, you know, go to a foreign country. Like, I went to New Zealand. I didn't know anything there, and have a culture shock, and really just, you know, I had to be with a companion for those 2 years. You can't even leave each other's sight unless you go to the bathroom. And so it taught me to live with people and how to give and take in those relationships. So that's my biggest thing, is just I'm having a hard time letting go fully because of how.
So it's more so the community, I would say, rather than
Yeah.
the teachings.
Yeah, the community, what you learn. And I don't think the teachings are bad as far as.
Right. They teach you a lot about service and loving
Yeah.
other people, which I think is great. And I'll continue to take that into my life and teach that to Fletcher. And I didn't have, like, horrible experiences in the church either. Like, I made a lot of good friends. And so but following all the rules that I didn't feel were, but then I started to realize, okay, so the rules come from a prophet who speaks to God, right?
Yes.
So that's where the rules come from. So this is where my issues come from. It's because the things I researched and studied led me to believe, and I'm sorry if I offend people, but this is my experience, led me to believe that Joseph Smith wasn't a prophet.
Okay.
And so then to me, I'm like, well, what am I following all these rules for that came down the line from him all the way to now? All these commandments and rules that we have in our church. So if I don't believe he's a prophet, why would I follow these rules that the church came up with if I don't believe that they came from God anymore?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to keep following the rules and go to church and believe in these things if I don't believe they're true. And I do feel like for some people, the church is harmful. For LGBTQ people, that's harmful. It could be harmful for people of color because of some of the teachings back in the day.
Yeah.
So, but because we grew up especially you grew up in Utah, I had a different experience outside of Utah. I had a majority of my friends were not members of the church. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't hard for me to find friends that I felt like were good friends, you know? And they didn't have to be a certain religion. And also a lot of my friends went to different countries to do like mission trips. They didn't have to go on a 2-year mission to like go to another country to be culture shocked and to learn these things, you know? And I had to take one of my college required classes was public speaking. So it's like you can learn these skills. Yeah. And my argument is the percentage of the church is like 0.1% of the population of the entire world. And I'm like, where are all these other people learning these skills?
For sure.
So it's just hard when you live in Utah because the church is all you know. And so I just feel like sometimes you need to get out of that to kind of understand other people and their beliefs and their thinking so you don't get stuck in your own thinking.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're still working through it, I feel like. So
yeah.
But don't be scared to ask me.
Okay, that's fine.
And we don't have to get into an argument.
Right. Some of the teachings, anyways.
Okay. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. All righty. Thank you again, everybody that submitted. That was awesome. So if you have any questions, go put them in. Or if you have experiences, we'd love to cover them. So, okay, well, let's end this podcast with Settle Our Debate. Seems like this is everyone's favorite section.
Jaiden got annihilated on the AirPods one in the comments.
Stop it.
But I just want to put out there, thank you for taking my side, everyone. But they're not like, it's not like too serious, you know? I feel like a lot of people were taking it very seriously and being kind of mean.
There's a couple people. I think most of them, it's just fun.
Right, it's fun, but at the same time, it's like they're not like these aren't like super serious that it's gonna like end our marriage if we don't settle this.
Let's just say I got some private DMs from people saying they agreed with me.
From men in the comments that are too scared because they would also get annihilated in the comments.
But they reached out and offered their support. So thank you to everyone who DM'd me, even though you're too scared to comment.
But if you go read the comments, you're wrong.
Okay. This week, it's not really a debate. It's more just something I was thinking about. So we like to go to Disneyland. That's like one of our favorite things to do. And usually when we go, we obviously stay in a hotel. And in the hotel, it's almost always 2 queen beds.
Yeah.
And the first time I went in and I'd gone to bed on my side of the bed that we sleep on even at home. And Lindsie went and climbed in the other queen bed alone.
Yes, I did.
And I was like, okay, is she mad at me? Or like, why is she going to that bed?
And that's just what we do now.
And now we do that every time that we go to Disneyland.
But it's because we have a king bed at home.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of space between us, which is fine. But I'm a very hot sleeper. Like, I get super hot. And so in a queen bed, when you're right next to me, like, I cannot sleep because it's so hot. So I decided I'm just going to sleep in my own bed because I'll sleep better.
Okay.
Nothing against you.
So I just want to hear from you guys. If you go and stay at a hotel and they have 2 beds, do you and your significant other, do you sleep in the same queen bed, or do you sleep in the separate, each your own queen beds? So that's this week's debate. So you can just comment that. I guess it's not even if Jaiden or Lindsie is right. It's just whatever you would do.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you. So, okay, that's the podcast for today. We did another one.
Woohoo!
Tune in next week. These come out every Tuesday. If you want them to show up on your YouTube feed, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. And then also be sure to check out Jaiden's Basement at the end of this week, where you get to meet the whole crew. That podcast is really fun. We're bringing a lot of energy into that. And we'll be talking drama, gossip, news, you name it. We're going to cover it in that podcast. So thank you guys so much for watching.